Will you sleep at night knowing the Mexican drug war is about to come to your neighborhood? You shouldn't, because it's about to.
Caravans of cartel gunmen took over the city, setting fires, blocking major intersections, and killing civilians indiscriminately.
Time magazine correspondent Ian Grillo said, "I've covered Mexico's drug violence for 18 years, written 2 books about the subject, and seen many extraordinary episodes. In Sinaloa, the cradle of drug traffickers, I've repeatedly been on the crime beat, chasing bullet-ridden corpses into the mountains to Guzman's opium-growing village. But Thursday was different. It wasn't a gangster action, it was a mass insurrection." A Supreme Court justice recently spoke to the Federalist Society. A few days earlier, the Federalist reported that Mexico is in a state of collapse and Americans need to realize that the crisis won't stop at the border. Hi, I'm Glenn Spencer. I live right on the border, and I'm here to show you why America has no border defense. I support the idea behind Trump's wall. I have for many years, but it isn't enough. Due south of where I live, 9 women and children were slaughtered by Mexican cartels. They were targeted. Less than 1 month later,
at least 21 people are dead after a suspected cartel attacked a town in the northern Mexico state of Coahuila near the U.S. border. Mexican officials say security forces are still chasing some of the suspects involved in the attack Saturday. Authorities say the armed men stormed the town, targeting government offices before getting into a shootout with security forces. Some of the suspects were able to get away in rugged terrain. The attack comes just a month after 9 Americans were killed by a cartel ambush in the same area.
Some parts of the Rio Grande River can be very shallow. No wall is planned near Villa Union. Will this be a new cartel headquarters? If Mexico collapses, can we stop the crisis at the border? President Trump is building a wall just like the one built near me 10 years ago. Here my German shepherds are backing it up. People have climbed an old wall, and a media event was held as people climbed an 18-foot version. The demonstration didn't include the 30-foot version. That was done in Mexico, using a ladder. And few in the media missed the story of how easy it was to cut through the wall. 500 miles of border by the end of 2020. The border is 2,000 miles long. What if Mexico collapses next year? The president of Mexico has said people have a right to come to the United States. Will he decide to let the caravans through? Will the radical left come to the border to disrupt work? They may climb over, cut through, and go around the wall. Will we even know it? We have no real border-wide security system. 13,000 ground sensors are the mainstay for detecting border intruders. Inspector General said the ground sensors had a 90% false alarm rate. They didn't work. They are next to useless. In 2006, CBP decided to use radar to detect intruders. It was called a virtual fence. I knew it wasn't going to work. I had my reasons, so I called it BS. 2003, I set out to measure border security. After 3 years, I was stunned to learn the DHS hated the idea. They didn't want to measure border security. About a year after I called the virtual fence BS, ZDNet said it is a failure. 5 years and $1 billion after I said the virtual fence would not work, DHS agreed and shut the program down. In 2004, a nonprofit pioneered the use of a fixed-wing drone coupled to ground sensors.
But now the American Border Patrol has built the Border Hawk, an aircraft that sees through the darkness with an infrared camera to search and record foot traffic. On the ground, the crew monitors the plane's flight from a control center, patrolling hotspots where foot traffic triggers strategically placed sensor.
So when a sensor does go off, what we have is the ability to send that aircraft from wherever it is directly to that spot.
CBP rejected the idea of using a $5,000 drone in favor of the $18 million Predator. They flew too high, had to avoid commercial traffic, and didn't have ground sensors to tell them where to look. The Inspector General found they were as useless as ground sensors, helping the Border Patrol catch less than 1% of apprehensions. Next, CBP came up with integrated fixed towers. It was the same idea as Boeing. Use radar to tell the cameras where to point. But they put them in the strangest places. Radar can't see through mountains or through a forest of trees. The Army Corps of Engineers is building a Trump wall where these towers were deployed. Is there technology that can back up Trump's wall?
This new technology picks up if a person, car, or animal is walking along the border. And once it does, a signal is sent and the drone takes off.
And it can pick up people 500 feet into Mexico. So by the time they get to the border, there's a drone there waiting for them. It knows the difference between people, animals, aircraft, and even drones. I should know. I invented it.
Glenn Spencer lives along the border south of Sierra Vista. The retired engineer and pilot has been working on sensor technology for more than a decade. More recently, he's been working with defense contractor Northrop Grumman on a way to detect drones coming across.
It is called Sidearm, and DHS-CBP knows it works. Sidearm is buried, solar-powered, and efficient. Sidearm is a force multiplier. It tells choppers where to look. It tells agents where to point cameras. It gives agents in the field direction and distance. This is what the president should do. Install Sidearm along the entire border from Brownsville, Texas to San Diego. It could be done in 3 months.
New technology picks up if a person, car, or animal is walking along.
Include a quick reaction drone to send live video of each and every border intruder. Send Sidearm reports to border cameras so they can spot the threat. Send ultralight and small drone detections to air and marine operations and every Border Patrol station and agent. They will know what to do. America has the technology and manpower to defend its borders. Democrats and Republicans alike could work as a team to make this happen. 10 years ago, American Border Patrol proved that real pedestrian barriers work. But the wall is far from finished, and time is running out. As the new year approached, 2 federal judges blocked plans to use billions of dollars to build the wall. If Mexico collapses, could we stop a crisis at the border? No. America does not have a border defense, but it could if it acted now.